Everyone, my name is Tero Pesen and I'm the chair of Critical Communications Broadband Group at TCCA. And here with me is Puneet Jain, the chair of 3GPP SA. Good to have you with us, Puneet. Thank you for joining us. We are here gathered to discuss about the recent plenary 112, the European emergency number, which took place in Singapore. Welcome so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tero. It's my pleasure to be here, and it's always a pleasure talking with you.
Excellent. Well, without further ado, could you please share what was going on in Singapore, and then let's discuss some of the key points there.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much. So let me share a presentation. We had this TSG 112 meeting in Singapore, and this was the first time we were meeting in Singapore. It was really a nice place, and also the meeting facilities was excellent. So I also want to thank the meeting host for providing the great meeting facility. So what I'm sharing is a document 703, and this is basically a document which contains 6G progress summary in 3GPP SA. And this is the first time basically I have asked one of my vice chairs to basically put together a summary across each working groups, and this will provide a kind of a very good overview in terms of what is happening, what was the current decisions that happened in regarding the 6G studies, as well as cross-working group coordination aspects, as well as dependencies. So I would highly recommend people to look at this document if they are really interested in knowing the progress on the 6G studies across the essays working groups. In terms of the key thing which we have agreed is about release 21 timeline. This happened during the joint session in Singapore, and the key decision was that first of all that release 21 will have the same timeline for 5G Advanced and 6G. And this timeline was approved. So basically the package approval will start from March 2027. That is next year. And stage 1 freeze is targeted for March 2027 as well, which was already agreed at the last plenary meeting. But then we also agreed on the stage 2 freeze, stage 3 freeze, and then ASN1 open API freeze. So what you can expect now is with this timeline agreed for release 21, the 6G specifications would be ready by March 2029, and that's when we can expect basically fully functional freeze as well as the APN API and ASN freeze to be declared. Another thing I want to highlight is we also agreed on the basic 6G terminology. 6GR for 6G radio, 6G RAD for 6G radio access technology, 6G RAN for radio access network, and 6GC or 6GCN for 6G core network, and 6GS for 6G system. So the key idea was basically if we can adopt this basic 6G terminology early on, this would avoid different working groups and across even TSGs to use a different terminology, and we do not want to end up in a situation that we at a release 21 time is debating this terminology. So this agreement was also achieved at the last plenary, and the LS was sent to all working groups to basically start using this terminology moving forward. Other thing I wanted to basically not go through the detail of this document 703, but I just want to quickly browse through this to show that it covers all SA working groups, shows what are the progress that has happened, what are the outstanding issues, and the next steps, right? So this talks about a release 21 work item that's going on in SA1. Then there's similar thing for SA2 on the architecture. That again covers the controversial issues, what are the next steps, and also show what is the percentage completion for the study. So Again, same for the security in SA3. Also for the media aspects, which provides even further details on how the AI traffic characteristic evidence methodology works, and management and orchestration, similarly for application enablements. Now the key, this also basically shows the overall 6G work plan, where the progress are happening, and also list the checkpoints. For example, like during the joint session, we agreed on December checkpoint for between RAN2 and SA3 regarding the AS security. And again, this slide also provides more details in the annex regarding all these checkpoints. Then finally, I just want to say a few words about the cross TSG and coordination and dependency. Now, key thing for SA1 is to reach an agreement on how and where to place their requirements related to computing, ISAC, immersive, and IMS. I think the key debate is whether to use existing specification or the new specification. So I think this is something which SA1 will try to resolve at the next meeting. Then also in the joint working group, we basically tasked SA2 to come up with a RAN core network interface naming convention. And this would be communicated to RAN3 at the next plenary meeting, after it has been discussed within the SA first. Also talked about this some of the work on RAN and core network checkpoint. So basically, a checkpoint for RAN and core network interface, excluding the connectivity services, was also established for December. Then on the AI traffic itself, SA4 has sent a liaison and will continue to study the AI traffic characteristic. And then SA2 will start the investigation on key issues and solution based on the input provided by an SA4. So as you can see, this basically provides the very good summary of the progress, and this is also contains some of the checkpoints which I mentioned early. So this is I would say a point where we can take a look, and obviously we will continue to have this summary progress at each plenary meeting, and with the further improvements. So I'm also looking for an input if in case how this summary report can be further enhanced. Okay, so another thing beside this, let me stop sharing now, and I can talk about is the other key development that has happened was also about this ultra low bitrate speech codecs, which we call as a ULBC. So there was a new work item that was approved to standardize the ultra low bitrate speech codecs for voice over geo satellite. The key aspect about that is this is the work will go on in release 20, and as you can see, release 20 has a already progressing well, and then there is a limited time remaining in release 20. So this work really needs to be very well driven in order to be complete by the release 21 timeline. Another aspect is about AI training and legal consideration, because this ULBC codec relies heavily on AI-based speech coding paradigm. TSG SA provided a specific guidance to SA4. The SA4 is instructed to discuss the technical training data set requirements needed to train this AI model for this candidate codec. And at the same time, I have taken an action to officially inform PCG regarding the compliance with the legal requirements and 3GPP involvement in managing these data sets used to train AI models specific to the 3GPP standards. So I think we have to start looking into as more and more AI related work is on coming in 3GPP, then how do we basically comply, and what are the specific legal and regulatory requirements regarding using these AI models in 3GPP specification? And
yeah, that is actually rather interesting new territory and obviously a new question on these legal things related to AI, and it will be very interesting to hear what the program coordination group, I think is PCG, is thinking about it, and obviously what the legal side comes up with it. But it's good to be ensure that those folks who are writing the specifications, they are on the safe side. The codec you mentioned, is my recollection correct that we are talking something like 1 kilobit per second type of codec here, or how was it?
Yeah, so there are 2 bit rates that has been discussed, right? And whether or not we're going to specify 2 bit rates for this codec would be discussed during the normative work in SA4. And basically the decision whether to support one or both kind of a bit rates would be decided within within SA4 itself. So there was no specific guidance that needs to be provided by SA regarding that, and I think SA4 is the right place to manage that discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, from mission critical point of view, we are always in favor of saving capacity and pushing the boundary of congestion further away. So it is automatically rather interesting for us, to the extent that I'm advocating in our community that we would look into these new possibilities and see could these mission critical services, most of all mission critical push to talk, utilize these types of codecs. What would we gain? What would we potentially lose? And obviously this has been designed for non-terrestrial networks or satellite use, but perhaps in our case we could use it also on the terrestrial side as say in a large forest fire or something. We may be the ones that are overloading the network. So we are very thrilled to see this type of development. Absolutely.
Good. Then I think I want to also highlight few things which may be of interest to the public safety and mission critical. So the one item was about this emergency services and public safety communication infrastructure. So a major new study item called Study on Additional Capability for Emergency Communication was officially approved for Release 21. And this study was launched in a direct response to a liaison statement that was received from TCCA MTEL and ATIS ESIF IMS 911. And it focuses on standardizing how network sets, transfer, and utilizes this accessibility parameter for emergency services globally. And this is to ensure unified access to public safety answering point, what we call as a PSAPs. The SA2 also noted the incoming coordination regarding this Release 20 text to 911 or SMS to PSAPs for roaming UEs, and the SA2 group is tracking the normative architecture aspects to prevent these bounce back failures when a roamer's emergency SMS fail and requires a voice call instead. This is also aligning with 3GPP conclusions with the ATIS and TIA standards. So this was a good development. And I also wanted to highlight one additional thing is about approval of major mission critical technical report, which was in 23700-39. This is a study on logging and recording for mission critical services. So the approval of this TR concludes the study phase and directs a clear path for a normative specification work to meet public safety user requirement that were defined by SA1 in TS 22.280. The finalized study successfully establishes a solution for logging and recording session-based communication, that is SIP, and also non-SIP based communication. So this was clearly a good development, and I'm sure it is very much of an interest to the mission critical community. Another thing I want to highlight is this framework harmonization for vertical use cases. The meeting approved the TR 23.947, which is an external technical report detailing a framework for integration at an application enablement layer. So this is an SS6 TR, external TR. And this TR provides a specific developers guidelines and application flow for public safety deployments, featuring an edge-assisted incident response use case. So again, I think the approval of this TR is also an important milestone, which will be of great interest to the mission critical community. So
Absolutely. The logging and recording, it has been very challenging, but at the same time in operations, it's very important to have the proper audit trail, and with that also ability to analyze what's going on, what has happened, how to improve, and all of those things. So it's marvelous to hear that there's an agreement on the study and a path how to do the normative work. And then obviously also the guidelines for developers. You know, not that everyone would be all over the place, but now they have a proper
yes.
specs to have a look and coordinate the work. I must say that from our community perspective, thank you very much, 3GPP, for doing all this spectacular work for the safety of all of us, including yourselves, but helping out us to keep the society safe and fulfill our mission. So highly appreciated, very much indeed, and this is a very good way to go forward. Thank you so much on the look on the plenary 112. Quite remarkably, the emergency call agreement on a plenary with that number. How do you see what to expect now for the Madrid plenary in 113 taking place in September? Any forecast for that?
Thank you. I mean, September plenary would also be an important meeting to basically discuss the progress, because there has been several checkpoints for September as well. I think the key thing is the progress on the 6G system architecture discussions, right? So we have currently an ongoing electronic meeting, SA2 ad hoc meeting, which is happening this week and will continue over the next week. And then there is another mega meeting happening for the SANCT in August in Prague, right? And I think these two meetings are important to basically provide a segue to the Madrid plenary. The reason for that is there are key discussions that are happening on the overall 6G core network architecture. There are several solution variants, and some of them are quite divergent. And this is really important to basically have that discussion and try to find a common ground or some sort of an harmonization, so that we have a single 6G core network architecture, you know. And I think that discussion, although may not conclude in August, what would be important is if we can try to find a kind of a approach where we can document not more than 2 or maybe at most 3 solution variant in terms of over 6G architecture. And although this discussion would not happen in September plenary, but it would be a good checkpoint to understand where we stand in terms of moving forward with that discussion. Because if we cannot find a common ground there, then it will impact the other areas, you know, other key issues as well. And that's why it is really important that we come to a good agreement regarding that. And then in September, basically, we will sit together and look at the progress across the working groups. Obviously, I would also imagine that SA1 will resolve this issue of where these requirements would be placed, whether the new specification or not. If they are not able to do so, then we will discuss that at the plenary as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward for the next plenary meeting, and hopefully we can also then talk further in terms of the key progress happening at that meeting afterwards. Yeah,
would be very much happy to do so. So in that sense, September will be at least a great opportunity to find consensus and a path forward, recognizing that maybe there were, in hindsight, one can say that maybe there were a little bit too many options in 5G, which made it somewhat complicated, and then the deployments were difficult. So as far as I understand, the major parties are trying to find a solution to avoid that, and I'm sure that from our community, good successful 6G is exactly what we prefer to have.
Indeed, yes.
So hey, with this, thank you so much for this update. Thank you for the work you're doing. Best of success with the ongoing meetings related to SA2 and the architecture, and looking forward to hear again updates in September. And in the meanwhile, I wish you great summer season. Hopefully you have at least also some time off to recover, since we need you very fit in September.
Thank you very much, Tero. And yeah, I look forward to talking to you after the September plenary as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And bye for now for everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.